4, 3, 2, 1. Woohoo, we're live! Aloha, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here with another installment of our Halloween debates. And of course, tonight we got a little different. We thought we would do, hey, Charlie. We thought we would do Disney Channel family friendly related Halloween villains. So we are here to debate our top family-friendly Disney villains. So yeah, looks like Amanda disappeared. So I don't know what happened there. I'm sure she'll pop back in.
Probably something haunted and scary.
It adds to the show. She just magically disappears. And of course, Nick, my usual co-host from Who Dat Travel, is at Disney right now. So he may or may not pop in, but I will say he is having some situations with Little Man at the moment. They had some hotel snafus. Little Man didn't quite get his nap in time. So he just might be really magical and pop in. We don't know. As far as Amanda, I don't know. Happy Halloween, Charlie. So why don't we get started? Jacob, just in case. Oh, wait. She might be trying to come back in. While Amanda tries to come back in, Jacob, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Jacob, one half of Disney Channel, along with my wife. We do trips usually once or twice a year, and we get a lot of footage and then bring back. So we don't like live vlog it or anything like that, and then edit the videos together. Do a lot of restaurant reviews. We just reviewed Pecos Bill's Tall Tale Inn and Cafe. Yep. So that went up today. That was pretty fun. So we actually talked a little bit about what the food was like or our experience prior to COVID, and then what it was like this summer when we went also. So we do a lot of that, as well as some unboxings, just getting some like plushies, stuff like that we like. And we take trips to things like Star Wars Celebration, which we are huge Star Wars fans, as you can tell from the some of the Star Wars stuff in the background. So Star Wars fans and just love Disney, and that's what we do.
Yay, Charlie's going to Disney World.
That's awesome.
Awesome, Jacob. Well, it looks like Amanda popped back in.
I'm here. Right as you said, okay, let's go live. I don't know if my internet stopped working, but literally all the videos went off and everything stopped working. So I just tried to log back in again on my computer and it didn't work. So I'm on my phone. We're here.
Woohoo! Party time. So Amanda, all you missed is Jacob introduced himself. So
okay, well, hi, Jacob.
Hello.
Okay, great. I guess it's time for me to introduce myself now that I've made this grand entrance here. Well, I'm Amanda. I am, I guess, half or a third, I don't know, of the Hides Do Disney. It's my husband and our 3.5-year-old. And we do cooking videos and park vlogs, and we discuss what the best Epcot pavilions are and do unboxings. It is just a bunch of hocus pocus. And I don't know, we do a bunch of stuff that it's all Disney related, and we have a bunch of fun with it. And that's pretty much us. So Nina, there we go. Nina, why don't you say hi to everybody, and then I have some questions for you.
Sweet. Well, as you guys know, I am Mermaid Nina. This is my channel you're watching on, and this is a travel channel. So being a travel agent, I post about all things travel, everything from travel videos, travel vlogs, reviews, how to pack, what to pack, travel product reviews, unboxings, all those sorts of things. And of course, Disney is my #1 true love. So all of it kind of always comes full circle back to Disney. And I just got back yesterday.
That was going to be my question. I know that you obviously are going to have all the videos, every single one. But without kind of like spoiling what videos are to come, can we have a brief trip overview?
Yeah, so I went for work, which is as fun as it sounds. Being a travel agent, going to Disney for work means I am literally going there to experience everything a guest or a client would want to experience so that I can come back home and give my best tips and advice to my clients. So that meant we stayed at we went to all 4 Disney theme parks. We went to all 3 Universal theme parks. We went to Disney Springs and City Walk, all in a 6-day period. I got so many blisters on my feet that Nina had to hobble from her hotel room to Pop Century's gift shop and buy the Halloween Crocs, which I wore for the rest of the trip. And yeah, that was the only way I could survive the rest of the trip, because we're literally going like not how I would do it with my family, where we kind of, if we're in Tomorrowland, we kind of stick in Tomorrowland and we kind of rock out Tomorrowland. For us, we're like Tomorrowland, Future World, not Future World, Tomorrowland, Adventureland, Frontierland, like it's just, we're all over the place, so much walking. But yeah, it was a good time. We mainly went, I do go to Disney a lot, Charlie. I'm going again in a few weeks. What? I know, right? It was kind of warm. Forget what I was saying. Oh, so I mainly went because I wanted to see the difference between October right now versus when it reopened, because there were tons of pictures all over Facebook with these obnoxiously really long lines, and it was kind of scaring me. So you want my takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you'll probably do a video on it, so I don't want to like steal the thunder on that, but I would love to know your Reader's Digest takeaway.
Reader's Digest version. Basically, I will say, I hope so, Charlie. It should be nice weather for you. Everyone likes to say that the parks are too crowded. But if you have ever been to Disney over Christmas or over actual peak holiday season, the parks are so crowded, you're literally walking through aisleways like this, right? You're going to get hit by a scooter or a stroller. Someone's going to bump into you. You're literally like trying to skate through. So it's not like that right now. The lines are long. Don't get me wrong. They are way longer than they were back in June or July. But they're long because of the social distancing and because they're only loading 1 to 2 families per ride vehicle.
Yeah.
But if you actually leave the line and you go to just walk in front of the hub, or you still want that castle picture, you're not getting like the Christmas crowds. So I think that's the difference, is people are saying it's way too crowded to go. What they really mean to be saying is the lines are long.
And I don't even think really, I mean, yes, the lines are long, but if you really look at it in the sense of the lines, like the physical distance of, not physical distance of the lines, like, for example, like Splash Mountain seems to always be wrapped around 3 times around Frontierland. And yes, the line is long, but it goes quickly. And you have to think about the fact that quickly in the sense of it's not a 4-hour wait. It's versus what that line would look like, quickly in that kind of terms. But also there's no fast pass people going through, and like you said, they're only loading 1 to 2 families on a Splash Mountain boat. So it's
right,
when you consider all of those things and how many people, like how few people are going through per capita on an hour, I don't know. I mean, we went the second week that the parks were open in July, when everybody was afraid to go. And now that people are more comfortable and Florida's starting to open up more, and, people have the money to go now because people are working again and taking vacation, it is going to get busier. But that's a good thing, because that means that the parks are going to start having more revenue and hopefully start hiring all these cast members back, and we can have a little bit of normalcy again.
Right. So I think it's just a mix of, two things. So I think what you were hitting on is the ride lines are longer than in June or July of this year.
Correct. Yes. Of this
The lines are not longer than October last
2019.
year.
Correct.
The lines are not longer than pre-COVID.
Yes.
The lines are just longer than all of us who went at reopening and could brag about, walking onto rides.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, for example, Toy Story Mania was listed at 50 minutes. It only took us 15.
So that's the hard part too, is, are they making the wait times look longer to deter people from going to those rides? Or is it that they know that they're going to have a scheduled cleaning coming up, and so they are putting the wait time longer because you could hit that cleaning, you couldn't? There's so many variables.
It's really hard to say, because you'll ask the cast member and they'll say, 50 minutes. The sign says 50 minutes. And of course it's wrapped around crazy, so it looks like 50 minutes. But, because we went to investigate, we stayed in those lines and they were not 50 minutes. What shocked me, however, was Small World. For the first time ever, I waited in line for Small World, which I thought was kind of odd.
Yeah.
But again, it's in the eye of the beholder. Just to answer a few questions here, Charlie, Magic Kingdom is not the most crowded park. It is Hollywood Studios by far. In fact, if you are planning a trip anytime soon, you need to make sure that Hollywood Studios actually still has Park Pass reservations open, because a lot of time, and I'm sure Mom already took care of this, Charlie, so don't get scared. But Hollywood Studios is the busiest park. And then he says, that they probably did let more people in than when you were there last, Charlie. And then Bridget says, so Rise of the Resistance, because of so many people have been complaining about not getting a boarding group, they have tested putting plexiglass in between the seat so that they can let in 2 families versus 1. So what this does is it allows more people to ride the ride. But if you're in the back seat, and this was my complaint, if you've seen my top 5 things I don't like about Disney World right now, is if you're in the seat behind the plexiglass, it cuts that front vision. You really only have kind of this vision here. You don't have the front, because even though it's clear, it has that fogginess to it.
Which I feel like is fine for, the Florida resident annual pass holder that goes twice a week to Hollywood Studios to go on Rise, that's ridden it 50 times, and they sit and they've got that kind of blocked view. But then you've got somebody, that's never been on it before, and they get that blocked view. And so it's
very difficult. We're all complaining because we want shorter lines. We're complaining because we want to get a boarding group. Well, for that to happen right now, that means plexiglass.
Exactly. It's one of those, you can't win either way, but you also can't lose either way either, because you're still getting into the parks. Maybe if you have I
was going to say, I wonder, for those that have never ridden it before and they ride it and they have that, foggy thing in front of them, I wonder if that's going to put a bad taste in their mouth for the ride itself. I wonder if they'd be more upset if they didn't get to ride it at all, or if they got to ride it and had a bad experience riding it for some reason.
Well, I think that's just the thing is, hey, anyone who's listening right now, if you fight to get Rise of the Resistance, you may be behind plexiglass. So you need to decide if it's worth it to you to fight for that pass,
or to wait,
lots of time out of your day to ride it. I mean, really, you fight to get the pass. It takes 10 seconds of your time. You get in line. That's another 30 minutes of your time to ride a ride where you're getting semi-full experience. In the end, you're still kind of winning, but I think like Jacob said, I think you just need to recognize that could be your view.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility that goes on now that people don't realize. There always is, but right.
Yep, Disneyland Paris is closing, so that made me a little bit nervous. I don't know about their government and their COVID numbers over there, but definitely shocks a few people, I think, to hear that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So our trip was good. It was different than definitely when I went for reopening, but it wasn't horrible by any means. I still think it's way better than going at Christmas time. And that's how I always compare it to my clients, is it's still better than Christmas. If you think of Christmas as being high peak, crazy busy, is it still better than Christmas? Absolutely. In terms of crowds and, lines and waits and, all that good stuff. But of course I filmed it all, and I did mobile ordering. We did table service. And I did the same thing at Universal to see how safe they were compared to Disney, and what things Universal actually were doing a few things that Disney hasn't done yet, which kind of shocked me, because usually Disney's kind of above Universal a little bit in those types of things. So yeah, that'll all be in my video. But in the end, I'm still going to say it's a fun time to go. You just have to adjust your expectations.
Absolutely.
And the cavalcades, I will say, at Magic Kingdom, we saw at least 6 different cavalcades.
I am so excited for that first Christmas one to happen. Like, whoever's going to be there that first week that happens, let me know so that I can watch your channel, because I need to see it. Because
you want to know. Well, I will be there, probably not for the first cavalcade, but for one of them, I will. Okay. I will see them. But I still think they're doing a really good job keeping the magic alive. And I think they know that we think the lines are too long. But at the same time, Mickey and Minnie got to about 65 minutes instantly. But what was it pre-COVID? 3 hours?
Exactly.
Right.
So
with people doing fast passes as well. So there's a higher capacity of people going through at one time.
That's right. Cavalcades equals parades. Or no, they're better than parades. Yes, they are. You're going to be there on the 6th? How's that?
Bridget, there we go.
I got the lucky chance to meet Bridget in person.
That's so exciting. One day we will all meet at Disney and the world will be great.
We took a selfie. I'm going to have to post it once I download my camera.
I love it. Well, are we ready? I was going to say, Charlie, you're right there in my mind. Are we ready to start talking about these villains? Because I'm ready, even though I have a completely not live Disney Halloween journal. I have a list.
Yours is better than mine. Mine's the competitor.
I still type mine up here.
Mine's Universal. Okay, so enough about Nina's trip. I just thought some of you might want to know just, some quick differences. But we are here to battle out for the top Disney Channel, family-friendly, Halloween-ish villain. And it kind of opened up a few doors to a few movies that may have some oldies but goodies. Let's just put it that way. So, you guys ready? Should we draw names?
Yep.
All right, Charlie, keep watching because your favorite might be on one of these lists. Charlie keeps naming all the villains, and I keep saying, next week, Charlie, next week. Yeah. So finally. All right, I'm going first. Charlie, this one's for you. You watching, Charlie? I'm going to go with the super obvious, the super most important. Go ahead and get out your pop figures, Amanda.
Okay, I'm ready.
I am going to go with the Sanderson sisters. But more specifically, because Amanda and I have discussed this and we might discuss it further, Winifred.
How did I know that's who you were going to pick?
Because Mary is the sweetest. And Sarah, although
let's not talk about Sarah because she might be on a list.
She might be on a list? Okay. So I'm going to go with Winifred Sanderson. Charlie says yes. Are you excited, Charlie, now? He's been waiting for us to pick the Sanderson sisters. I mean, many could debate this movie on who the true villain is. Perhaps it was the person who lit the candle. Perhaps it was one of the witches. Perhaps it was the bratty little sister who made her brother take her trick-or-treating, and then this never would have happened. But I'm going to go with Winifred because she was an evil little witch before the 1990s even started. She turned poor Zachary Binks into a cat after taking the life of his sister. Then when she's brought back to life, she continues to do mayhem and evil witchiness. But as a Bette Midler fan, of course I had to pick her, and I love the music. I love Bette Midler. Anyway.
Bette Midler is the best. I saw her in concert before I was old enough to understand and appreciate what I was seeing. Yes, I am indeed channeling my inner Winifred with my lips here. You're welcome, everybody.
Yes, Charlie, this is from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I was probably like 9 or 10 when I saw Bette Midler, and there were some very not friendly family aspects of that concert that I asked my mom about afterwards. And she told me that she would tell me when I'm older, and I'm still waiting for her to tell me those things.
Mom, am I older yet?
Yeah, I should call her. That'll be on the next live stream over at my channel.
Mom?
Amanda calls her mom and asks about Bette Midler concert.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Winifred because she's just she doesn't care about whose little child life she takes. She just wants to get younger and more beautiful and stay alive. And I'm really not sure she cares about her sisters all that much either. And she definitely didn't care about her boyfriend, who she zipped his mouth shut. So yeah, Winifred.
Yeah, she does not care, except for to be young. Her and Mother Gothel will get along great.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
All right, Jacob.
All right, I'm gonna go with somebody who also took the life of a child.
Oh no.
They made a deal with the devil for a magic cloak to force the woman that he loved to love him back, but she did not love him back. So she kidnapped the woman's son and used the magic cloak to cast a spell that accidentally did not work and blew up his house, killing both himself, the little boy inside the house, and the boy's mom outside the house, making it so that they could never get together. And then they rebuilt the house, so he's haunting, the family that lives there now, the current residents of the house. And he was so good that they even made a sequel where he tries to find himself another wife, and it is Mr. Boogedy.
Mr. Boogedy too.
And Mr. Boogedy, yep.
Oh my
God. Bride of Boogedy.
I have never heard of what you're talking about.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus.
Mr. Boogedy Boogedy Boo? You've never seen this?
Is that what the movie is called?
It's called Mr. Boogedy.
Mr. Boogedy.
And then
Mr. Boogedy.
And the sequel's Bride of Boogedy.
I'm writing down Mr. Boogedy right now. When did this movie come out approximately?
Oh, was it early 90s, I believe?
Okay,
I don't know.
Something like that.
It's got a Feldman in it, so could be earlier.
Could be. The dad that's in the movie is one of the characters from the original It movie also.
Right.
So that's kind of neat. I was like, oh, I know that guy from somewhere.
Who was in It?
The dad that runs the joke shop.
Oh, I thought he was funny. I won't watch it.
Yeah, that movie scares me.
I won't do clowns.
Right. I'm much more into the family-friendly scary stuff than I am the actual real scary stuff.
That is right. Why does he look kind of like Senator Palpatine? He's freaky.
He is. It was a good movie. Very
86
cool.
To answer
86?
your question.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very much like Freddy Krueger face because, like Freddy Krueger got caught in the broiler. Mr. Boogedy got caught in the fire.
All right. Now I have something that I'm going to do tonight.
Oh, okay. She already said that.
Yep.
Good point, Charlie. Sanderson sisters should win, but save that for when we vote, okay, bud? He just wants Sanderson sisters. He's been calling this for weeks. He's ready.
Oh my goodness, we're just
Amanda's going down.
This is what happens.
Good pick, Jacob. That was actually on my list.
He's trying to do too many things at once here. Sorry. All right. Well, I really don't want to pit Sanderson's sister against Sanderson's sister. but I think I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, okay.
No, you know, I think that there can only be one per round. I think that should be a rule.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be a rule. So I'm going to go with the ultimate, as Nick would say, baddie.
Oh no, we forgot to use that in the intro.
The ultimate. It's because I wasn't on to channel my inner Nick in the beginning. I'm sorry. I will make up for it by using the word baddie as often as possible. I would say he is the ultimate baddie for many a reason. First of all, it took 3 years to make this movie. More so. So they put a lot of time and effort to make sure that he is the worst of the worst. He not only has no care for the world that he lives in by wanting to change it to something completely different, but he steals from other lands. He gets his little minions to try and do it for him.
Those are someone else's minions.
Well, kind of. He tries to steal somebody else's. Well, that's the thing. He steals somebody else's minions then. Like, he just steals everything. He has no respect for the woman who loves him. Like, doesn't even see her until the last 20 seconds of the movie. And of course, he kidnaps Mr. Sandy Claus. Of course, it is Jack Skellington. And
I would have gone the opposite way and not have said he was a villain.
Oh, no, he is a villain. He doesn't realize that he's a villain, but he is a villain.
Yeah, that's some of the worst villains, is the ones that don't realize.
Until the end where he's like, oh dear, what have I done? I've ruined the world. Just kidding. I'm Jack Skellington. Who cares?
See, I was going to use him for next week for being the ruiner of Christmas.
I think that he could also be the ruiner of Christmas. I think that this could be a 2-for-1 deal.
He does not seem to care because, I mean, he's not the mayor, but it's ironic that he pushes the mayor around as well. So like the mayor, who's usually the ruler of the town, he's like, no, mayor, we're doing this.
He's the king.
Well, yeah.
He's
the pumpkin king.
Right. So I wonder who has more power in that town.
Well, clearly Jack does, because the mayor is just like, whatever you want, Jack.
I think it's kind of like, it's like political power versus like popularity power. Like we're talking like the mayor of, or like the governor of California versus like a celebrity in California. Like who has more power?
I got you. Or like the parliament who's voted in Britain as opposed to the monarchy.
There you go. That's a much better.
I got
yeah. See?
All right.
You all understand here. Yeah. So those are 2 of the 3 picks that you have here to choose from. Because I'd never even heard of Mr. Boogedy until 3 minutes ago.
Is that true, Bridget?
That is true. I did indeed know that.
I thought Danny Elfman did the voice and the singing.
He did not. He only did the singing, but I can't remember who does the voice. So Bridget, Google it for me so that I don't drop my phone again.
We don't want any more phone accidents.
No, but it's funny because Danny Elfman did the voice of one of the Shock, Lock, and Barrel. I can't remember which one, but he did the voice singing and acting for one of them, but didn't do the voice for Jack.
Interesting.
It's so interesting. So interesting.
Oh, she's got it.
Oh, thank you, Bridget.
So that's the regular speaking voice for Jack?
Chris Sarandon.
All right. All right. While we continue to discuss the awesomeness of the 3 movies we have selected, we need you guys to vote between Winifred from Hocus Pocus, Mr. Boogedy from Mr. Boogedy, and Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I mean, I really don't think you can go wrong with any of these. Like,
once you've seen Mr. Boogedy, you'll, yeah.
I think he was so scary that they knew they would never sell any pops of them, so they just wouldn't make one.
Oh, Bridget, hey, while you're at it, Google and see if there's a Mr. Boogedy Funko Pop.
I would love a Mr. Boogedy Funko. I watched that movie as a kid, right? And back when back when you saw the Disney Channel, you were lucky to see some of those obscure made-for-TV kind of things again. And then when Disney Plus came on, it was one of the first things I noticed was on there. I was so flippin' excited.
Yep.
Mr. Boogedy. And then The Bride of Boogedy came up a couple months ago. That didn't come up with Mr. Boogedy. That showed up later. Charlie, we may get into this later. Someone may pick a Monsters character. Stay tuned. But yeah, good point, Charlie. So we got one vote for Winifred. Should we?
Not to get off topic, but whatever happened to the Monsters Inc. show that we were supposed to get on Disney Plus? Just saying.
What are you talking about?
We were supposed to get a Monsters Inc. show on Disney Plus. It was like the first thing that they were like, oh, we have this new streaming thing. We're going to have our own content that we're going to create for it, like this Monsters Inc. show.
Like a TV show, Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, we were supposed to get like a Monsters Inc. TV show. Still waiting for it.
This is funny.
That is funny.
Mr. Incredible is nothing like Mr. Boogedy.
Ooh, no, never mind. I was trying to see if that was a Halloween movie, but it's not.
Hey, Charlie, why don't you vote for us? Do you want Sanderson Sisters, Mr. Boogedy, or Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas?
I think we all know who he's going to pick.
Well, I would assume, but...
I don't know. He did get excited when I put up Jack, so...
10-year-olds have, they like to change their minds a lot because
Oh, 3-year-olds like to change their minds a lot, too. Jacob, what do you think? Like month-and-a-half-year-olds, do they change their mind a lot, too?
They don't know whether sometimes they want to cry or laugh or do whatever they do.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, we got one vote for Winifred. Should we just call that the winner and move on? Or should we rock, paper, scissors it? Or should we discuss it amongst ourselves?
I mean, I'm okay with Winifred winning. I think that she's a solid choice to win.
I think she's a solid choice.
Get out of here, Jack.
All right.
Hypnotizes that whole room. That's great.
Hit the road, Jack.
I put a spell on you. Okay, you ready?
Oh, come on, Amanda. Come on, Amanda. I have things to say.
I went with the obvious first, so now we can
great. Well, since we've gotten the obvious out of the way, and there can only be one sister per round, I'm going to go with the even more evil of the Sanderson sisters. I'm sorry. Does Winifred sing a song to lure the children in? No, she does not. Sarah does. Sarah is the ultimate live action Halloween movie. Actually, it doesn't have to be live action, but she's the ultimate Halloween movie villain because she's the one that actually lures them all in to kill them. Like, if it wasn't for her on her mop,
she
lying around, come little children, I'll take thee away. Like,
she also remembers that it's a dead man's toe, if you remember correctly. Winifred couldn't remember one of the ingredients, and she's back there going, dead man's toe, dead man's toe.
And she also has the most iconic line of the entire movie. Amok, 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 amok. Like,
that's true, but I still think Winifred is the evilest because it's always Winifred's idea.
Yeah, but she executes it all. I don't know. I see Sarah I
mean, Sarah's good for this round. I just wonder if eventually we could debate who's the top Sanderson sister.
I still think it's Sarah. But
all right. We might have to continue this one later.
Yeah, this might have to be a whole another whole.
All right.
What do you got, Jacob?
I'll go again with something. This one's actually not on Disney Plus, but it is a Disney movie.
Ooh.
It's Abigail Gregory from the Tower of Terror movie.
I almost did Tower of Terror.
Yep. So she curses her very own sister into oblivion, along with several other guests and employees of the Hollywood Tower. She frames the nanny so that all this time, all the newspapers, everybody thinks that the nanny's this evil person. I'm guessing that the nanny has this poor family that now is forever, like, people say, oh, that's the family of that nanny that cursed the guests at the Hollywood Tower. So, like, they're all getting blamed for this. And then it turns out that, again, it was her sister Abigail, the little girl's sister Abigail, that ended up cursing all those people. And I think that is just like a really terrible, villainous thing to do. And ultimately just an incredibly great movie, just in general. I love it. It's really good.
So it's interesting that you say that, Jacob. I have never seen this movie again, but I've heard of this one. I've heard of it. At least this one I knew existed. But it is highly debated that it is not a good movie. So I am very curious to the fact that you said that it's a very good movie. I don't believe everything you hear.
Right. I like it because of the twist that's in it. I like how they really make it like geared towards the actual ride, as opposed to making a movie about the ride that doesn't have a lot to do with it. I think the cast is really good in it, because as Steve Guttenberg and Kirsten Dunst as like the two main stars, and then some of the side characters are also people that you're like, I need to IMDb that person because they are somebody from another movie. So they do have all these other side characters that are also like backlist actors in other films and stuff. So I think that's really cool. I love that, Steve Guttenberg's character Buzzy is like a photographer, like a really well-known like journalist for newspapers, but had something go like terribly awry in his past. So then he has to like kind of come back from that, but he always does these terrible tabloids while he's trying to build up to it, and then finds out that this is like this story that nobody then believes. So it's just a lot going on in the movie that maybe, I don't know why people don't like it, but those are the reasons that I do like it. Plus Abigail, again, with that twist of who the villain actually is great. So again, through part of the movie, you're like, who's this nice old lady that's trying to help all these people? Well, guess what? She's not really all that nice. So.
Except for Nina, who pegged that it was the old lady at the beginning of the movie. Right. I go, oh, it was totally the old lady, and everyone laughs at me, and then it was the old lady.
Yeah.
I also love that Nina Peoples is in it, and she's from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yes.
It's funny to me because in Walker, Texas Ranger, she's like a karate chop ninja, and in this movie, she's like a suit.
Yep.
Who's afraid to do anything. But I agree with you, Jacob. I actually thought the movie was pretty decent. Is it the best movie of all time? Absolutely not. I liked it much better than Haunted Mansion.
Don't you speak those words in this house, Nina.
Sorry.
You got to check the movie out, though, and you might change your mind. It is.
Listen, I have added it to my list of Jacob recommended movies.
All right.
All right. I wonder who the next person's going to be to give us their answer.
I do not know.
I know. I'm sitting here like, who is it going to be?
All right. But I also like the fact that he, in the movie, because he was a successful journalist, something went awry, and now he's doing these tabloid fakies, that he takes his niece out. And
I'm like, shouldn't she be in school at some point or doing this other thing?
I'm like, she's got nothing to do with her life but pretend like she's Ghost.
Right. The mom says, don't you have homework? She's like, I got to go with my uncle here to do some weird, like, alien photo shoots. It's, like, really funny.
Okay. Bridget, you did not have to give me another excuse to go to Target.
My turn. Quite obvious because, I'm the last one here. Who am I up against? I'm up against Sarah and
Abigail Gregory.
I'm gonna go with a very greedy woman. A greedy woman who doesn't mind marrying not for love and then murdering those such people, all for the sake of money. This person not only marries for money, but when she can't get what she wants by many forms of attempts of murder, she then takes her husband away from his family and causes not only some family drama, but other murderous things as well. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I am talking about Debbie from Addams Family Values, Fester's wife.
I think they even have a nickname for on like the murder cards.
Oh yeah, what is it?
I'll have to look it up.
What it was. But yeah, she's kind of like Constance from the Haunted Mansion. She just goes from husband to husband for money, and she sets her sights on Fester. And of course, her usual ways of getting rid of a husband doesn't work for Fester Addams because, of course, he's an Addams, and blowing him up, hitting him with something doesn't exactly kill him. It excites him as it does the whole family. So it's kind of a fun little twist of that. But in the end, she doesn't get her way. Poor Debbie.
I definitely thought at first you were going with Constance, and I was very confused because I was like, that's not part of the Haunted Mansion movie.
She's very much like Constance. And I love, love, love that Debbie is like blonde hair and wears all pink and has these like fancy nails. And she like marries Fester, and no one's like,
So she's Dolores Umbridge, is what you're saying. Yeah. Wears all pink, has her nails done.
And then she marries
evil
Fester.
Murderous villain who doesn't care about anybody.
My phone is going off like crazy. I don't know what's going on over here. So yeah, I'm going to go with Debbie from Addams Family Values. So we've got Debbie, we've got Sarah Sanderson, and what did you pick again, Nick?
Jacob, Abigail from the Tower of Terror.
So we need votes, guys. Otherwise, we are going to discuss it amongst ourselves. We can go with another Sanderson sister. So then in the end, we will be Sanderson sister versus Sanderson sister.
I was going to say, because Mary's not making my list. I specifically wrote down Winifred and Sarah and then put in parentheses, not Mary.
Not Mary. My daughter wanted me to put the guy who lit the candle. So
I do not.
We could argue. We should just do a show based on who's the true villain of that movie, who really causes the problems in Hocus Pocus.
Really, it should be who's not a villain in that movie. The girlfriend girl, not the little sister.
No, my daughter thinks the girlfriend is just at fault because it was her idea. Oh, well, my mom used to work at the museum. Let's go to the museum after hours on Halloween and explore. So that someone could light the candle.
I mean, that's a good point.
The true not villain of that movie is Zachary Binks.
And Billy's not a bad guy either.
No, but he obviously did something to get his mouth sewn up, causing trouble between the two sisters. But no, in the end, he ends up being a good guy. But really...
I mean, he does chase the kids around, so the parents are bad guys. Because
I was going to say, those parents...
dressing up like Madonna and just like, sorry, don't care about our kids. Let's just go listen to these witches and not believe our children when we say that they're evil.
Addams Family isn't really Disney, Charlie, but it's actually on the Disney Channel now. So it's part of Freeform's 31 Days of Halloween. I don't know if your mom will let you watch it, but there's two. There's Addams Family and Addams Family Values. And my daughter enjoys both. So ask your mom.
Debbie's nickname was the Black Widow. That was on the cards.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because of course she's on the news and they're showing all the like most wanted or whatever. And
right.
Debbie had a card. All right, guys, please help us vote between Sarah, Debbie, and Tower of Terror. What was her name again? Audrey.
Abigail. Abby.
Abigail, that's what it begins with an A. They're all kind of equally bad. Yeah, have your mommy research it, Charlie, and see if she'll let you watch it.
I was gonna say that the villain of Tower of Terror was Disney for not putting it on Disney Plus.
We had to search for it because, of course, I've seen it. But you got Bridget's vote.
Oh, nice.
We hadn't seen it, so we had to search high and low to get it. We ended up renting it from Netflix, so it came in its own little CD, and we played it because it was hard to find.
Right.
Because after seeing the Haunted Mansion movie, she was like, well, what other rides movies? So then we had to kind of like hunt them down. But it was just funny watching Steve Guttenberg. It's like a name you don't really see or hear much anymore.
Right, yeah.
And then what's her name? You said Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
She was so young in that movie. And if you've seen the new movie that Disney Plus made, I forget what it's called.
Like the new one that just came out?
Yeah, for NASA.
Cloud?
No.
It's the space
it's about NASA space shuttle and about it's like the Unclaimed Heroes or something. But Kirsten Dunst is in it and she's like so much older. She's like my age. And so you see her as like Halloween Tower of Terror and she's so young and then now she's, got wrinkles.
And she was in Jumanji also. Like it's pretty young.
Yeah.
Yes.
I refuse.
Have you guys seen Country Bears?
I saw Country Bears.
Apparently it's the rat stuff. Is that like New Kids on the Block?
You got the rat stuff. Baby.
We're really changing. All right, so we got one vote. It's Abigail. Should we just call it?
Yeah. It's fine. I got a whole list here, guys. Whole list. To go on for days unless you
Terror.
steal them all.
All right. Round 3. No, it's not called The Right Stuff. It's about 3 women who are African American who were actually very helpful in the whole sending men to on the space shuttle. And it just came out. It's
Hidden Figures.
That was it.
Hidden Figures.
Yeah, Hidden Figures. That's what it's called. It's a really good movie. I wish Disney would make more Hidden Figures of all different people because you don't hear about these people, All right, I'm next. I'm going to go with a very greedy woman who stands by an old man's side for a whole 2 seconds, holding his hand, hoping to get claim to all of his money. And in the end, he only leaves her a stinking house, which apparently is not good enough. So she goes to this house and she's a little confused because it appears to be haunted. So she tries to hire all these people, including a Ghostbuster, to try to rid the house of the happy, happy ghosts that live inside, including sending a nice little father-daughter team over to the house to perhaps talk to the ghosts and console them to pass on. And in the end, she ends up becoming a ghost herself, causing much and much havoc, only just being greedy. And that would be Kerrigan from Casper.
Yep. That one I have seen.
That one you have seen. Oh, good.
It terrified me as a child. Absolutely terrified me. But that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
That was a really good one.
I love that movie, and it is currently, Charlie, if you're still watching, it is also on Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween. And then Christina Ricci's in it, of course, and she does dance with Casper when he turns into human form with one of my favorite like 80s tribute songs. And it's just kind of sweet because the Boogeyman should win. That was a different round, bud. We already finished that round. Winifred won. But yeah, it's on Freeform now, and I hadn't seen it in years, and so she watched it, and it was like all coming back, all these memories of me watching it when I was a kid. So, yep, Casper, the friendly ghost.
Maybe he means the boogeyman from Don't Look Under the Bed.
Or
Oh,
maybe
is that your
he means
pick?
Mr. Oogie Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that too. That wasn't my pick. That was just, I watched it the other day, that one also, like in research to see who I'd pick. Right.
All right, Amanda.
All right. I'm going to take it. I don't know if it's out of Disney, but it is not on Disney Plus.
Okay.
This one came to mind to me. Now, I haven't seen this movie in many, many a year. It's actually going to be playing this evening once this live is done in my living room. So if anybody wants to drive to my house and watch it with me at 10 o'clock at night, you're more than welcome. But this woman is a twin.
Ooh.
And she is an evil twin, to put it very abruptly. She, in a earlier part of her life, casts her twin sister into a mirror because they didn't want to be twins anymore. And so she was like, okay, great. Bye. See you later. And so then, of course, her, I don't know, grandchildren or something like that, I don't know, that are also twins, find out that their aunt here is not who she says she is. And so they have to go and find the good aunt and free her from this mirror. And so, of course, we're talking about that classic 90s movie of Double, Double, Toil and Trouble. We're talking about Aunt Agatha. What a classic 90s Disney-esque movie. Mary-Kate and Ashley, day one. Also, why are there so many old ladies named Agatha in the 90s? Like, why? Why couldn't they have picked a different name?
Agatha always seems like I don't know. There's an Agatha in Halloween Town too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Grandma Aggie. Like
Grandma Aggie. I have seen the movie you've talked about maybe once while I was babysitting some random child.
Oh, it's a gem. It is I haven't seen it in a long time, but it was one of the only Halloween movies I would actually watch as a kid because I hated anything that I thought could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore didn't watch Hocus Pocus as a small child, didn't watch The Nightmare Before Christmas as a small child, but this one, because it had the Olsen twins in it, couldn't be scary.
No, they're just scary now.
Accurate. They are the real villains of that movie 30 years later. But yeah, Aunt Agatha, she curses her own twin sister because she didn't want to have a twin anymore. How rude.
I can't imagine. I mean, I have a sister. Sometimes I wish I didn't have, but.
Yeah, but would you literally doom her to eternity in a magic mirror until somebody on the right Halloween, when there's a full moon, lights a black candle? Wait a minute. I don't have any siblings, so I can't.
I have too many siblings, and I'm the oldest.
All right, let's see. All right, so I'm going to go with a character that had a devious plan to take poor little children and hook up some vacuum cleaner suction device up in front of them as they're sitting in a chair, the poor little kids, and forcibly remove screams from their body. And if there was truly a monster that lived in this world, this was the monster, and it's Mr. Waternoose from Monsters, Inc.
Totally have him on my list. All right, Charlie, we just named one of the monsters.
Oh my gosh.
The evil monster, too. All the other monsters are okay. Even one that might be a little bad, chameleon type, but Mr. Waternoose is the one that's pulling the strings. Super evil.
And he's so super shady, right? Because the whole time you're like, it can't be Mr. Waternoose. I mean, he loves
the company.
He loves the company. He's trying to save the company. He keeps getting Sullivan to help train more recruits.
Right.
Sir, this isn't Boo's door. No, it's yours.
Meanwhile, he's recruited Randall to cause some shadiness in the basement.
Right.
Okay, so note to self, every Disney movie has a Hans character in it.
A Hans?
Yeah, they all have an on it if only there was someone who loved you moment.
He was probably Hans's monster.
Probably,
in the Southern Isles, right?
Ooh, okay. New topic idea that I need to think about. Disney characters and who their monster would have been.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Writing that down immediately.
So if Hans's was Mr. Waternoose, interesting.
Whose would have been the one that got the sock stuck to his back?
Whose?
No, it was like earlier in the movie.
Oh, with the 2319?
Right.
Yeah, Sanderson?
I think it was, yep.
Something like that. So obviously it must have been the Sanderson sisters' monster. That only makes
right. That's why they came. That's why they were so evil later on. They were terrified as children.
Yeah,
and they had a missing sock.
They learned. They learned to hate children from the monsters. Perfect crossover. Perfect.
All right, guys, we need your vote. We've got Kerrigan from Casper. We've got Mr. Waternoose from Monsters. And we got Agatha from, what's the name of the movie?
Double, Toil and Trouble.
Can't even. Double, Toil and Trouble with the ever-changing Olsen.
Never the same. But never duplicated. Oh, wait. But they were duplicated.
That's a different movie.
Also, I need to know who plays on Agatha, because I feel like it's somebody like...
A funny side note, the big hit that my band had that has, when MySpace was a big thing, like tens of thousands of listens.
Hold on, can you back up and do that whole thing?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, the big hit that my band had when we were like playing and stuff was called Everybody Wins with the Olsen Twins. It was an entire like Olsen Twins theme song.
Okay, well, since I didn't write down a movie for this round that I need to watch, Everybody Wins with the Olsen Twins.
Everybody Wins with the Olsen Twins.
All right, looking for it.
All right.
Wins with the Olsen. Wow, I'm so excited for my research to come after this.
The Olsen Twins.
Yep.
Cloris Leachman was who the.
Oh, cool.
Seriously? I love Cloris Leachman.
Yep. So she was Aunt Agatha. Ooh, 2021. Literally cannot come soon enough. But
do you see this, Charlie?
Monsters coming too.
Yeah. Do you see this, Charlie? Bridget just said it's coming out in 2021.
I wonder if it was originally slated for 2021 or if.
When you brought it up earlier, you acted like it was supposed to come out pretty soon.
Well, I thought that it was the first thing that they really like talked about when they announced Disney Plus. So I assumed it would come out
right away,
pretty soon. Like maybe not the first week, but within the first year or so. Maybe it was supposed to, and then 2020 happened, and they were like, "Nah, we're good."
I think a lot of things are getting pushed back because of 2020. All right, guys, you guys need to help us vote. Otherwise, we're going to have to do some rock, paper, scissors or something. between Kerrigan from Casper, Agatha from Double Double Toil Trouble.
Yep.
Mr. Waternoose from Monsters, Inc.
I mean, I have a vote, not of my own.
Okay, so what's your vote?
I'll say Waternoose is a baddie.
Oh, good use of baddie.
Thank you very much. That's baddie number 2 for the night.
You know what? Let's just give it to Waternoose because he wanted to hurt more children than Kerrigan's people that was in her house. So,
and also like he banishes all these monsters away. Like he banishes the abominable snowman, who then has to go and make his own snow cones. Like,
right?
How horrible! Nobody should have to make their own snow cones.
Yellow snow cones.
Listen.
Right. And he even says, "Oh, don't worry, they're lemon." But then all of a sudden goes, "I have to go outside and make more snow cones."
That's suspicious.
Right.
All right, guys, it's the last round. And so far we've got Waternoose, Abigail from Tower of Terror, and Winifred from Hocus Pocus to go against this last round. And he did almost kill Boo. Oh, I guess I'm up. All right, Nina, make it a good one. Make it a good one. I don't know how everyone's going to feel about this guy, but I'm going to go with a stealer of toys. A stealer of other children's toys. You know how when you go on vacation or you stay at a hotel and you bring your favorite toy because it's just so comfy and you want to, sleep better and it reminds you of home, only to find out your toy had disappeared. No, it didn't fall off the bed. No, you didn't forget to pack it. An iguana takes it, brings it to its master. Its master then sells it on eBay just to get more money. And I am talking about the manager of the hotel from the Toy Story of Terror show. He tries to take Woody and Buzz and Jessie and resell them on eBay, separating them not only from Bonnie, but from each other. And I'm going to go ahead and call that pure evil.
He's also puts that iguana in such a predicament because the iguana's there like swallowing pieces of things. That can't be good for it.
Seriously, he swallowed what's his name's hand? What was that character's name with the
Combat Carl?
Carl's hand.
Yep, and Mr. Potato Head's arm.
Yeah, but that iguana was so cute. He just would ding a bell. Oop! I got your next toy. Ding.
He was
just like
that is pretty cute.
But yes, I'm going with the manager of, if someone took my kid's toy, the one toy, and you go on vacation and all of a sudden it's missing. I mean, you spend hours looking for that toy and you're practically devastated when that toy. No, not Toy Story, Charlie. Toy Story put out a 30-minute mini show called Toy Story of Terror, and it's with Bonnie. It's on Disney. Have mom set it up for you. It's a good one, Charlie.
And that manager steals a cop car.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then he tries to escape. He just sees the cops coming in and he runs out and runs it into what was the light post.
Yep.
Follow-up question. Do you think that he's related to Al from Al's Toy Barn?
Probably.
I feel like they were selling things back and forth to each other somehow in there.
Or is he related to the guy that lives in Japan that wanted all the toys?
Right.
Or
maybe the guy in Japan was buying things from both of them. He's like,
maybe,
I bought all this stuff from Al, and Al didn't send it, and now it came back up over here.
Yeah. I'm sure
those eBay resellers are really the true evil.
Right. That's true. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with a character that's not Disney, but is in a PG movie. I believe that if it's not on the Freeform one, it's on another one edited for TV, so it's a little bit better. But it's a deity that was worshipped by the Hittites, the Mesopotamians, and the Sumerians around 6000 BC, according to Tobin's Spirit Guide. Let's see, where am I here? So there is a Disney connection with this movie. This character had an actor that portrayed the character, but it was voiced by Patty Edwards, who also voiced Flotsam and Jetsam in The Little Mermaid. This character is known as the Destructor because of this character destroying any world that it visits. And it is Gozer the Gosarian from Ghostbusters.
Halfway through that, all I could hear was Mackenzie Taylor's voice in my head saying, "Don't do this, Jacob. Don't do this."
Yep.
Yeah. Ghostbusters. Fantastic movie.
Well, that was on my list, so. Bridget says that she's shocked. No one's picked her favorite, so now I want to know who her favorite is.
Ooh, well.
Calabar. I was wondering, yep.
Did you say Calabar? He's on my list.
He's on my list. But not the one I'm going to go with, even though I know it could be an easy vote from Bridget and it could win. Because I have to go with one that is very near and dear to my heart. From a movie that is not rated very well. I'm going to actually look and see how many Rotten Tomatoes it has. Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, well, this beautiful 2003 movie has a 14% on the Rotten Tomatoes scale, so not exactly the most loved movie, but it is dearly treasured in the fandom that you might be able to see in the back here. This person has the Hans effect. You think that he's not a horrible guy. Like, he's a little weird, but, you don't think that he's this horrible guy. And then you've got that one moment where it's like, oh, surprise, he's the bad guy. Bye, Charlie.
Bye.
And night.
And so this kind soul would be Ramsley from Haunted Mansion. He is the evil butler that shows that he wants the right thing for his master and is just trying to get Master Gracie his Elizabeth back. But really, it just all comes down to the fact that he wants somebody to be Elizabeth so that he can, I don't know, take over the world. He ends up in fire at the end. That whole movie at the end is a little weird. But he's just so evil because he doesn't care about any of the people. He just wants what's best for him. Shocker. Doesn't care about the kids. Puts them inside of a chest for probably 2 hours when it's really 2 minutes in movie time. And he just, I don't know, he just creeps me out.
I almost put him on my list, but I didn't.
Master Gracie was going to be my number one on the list, but then I was like, he's really not evil. He only thinks that he's evil because of Ramsley. He really only thinks that he's evil because of Ramsley.
Right, because he thought he killed her.
He thought that he killed her first. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert if you've never seen Haunted Mansion, but he kills Ramsley.
Spoiler alert.
Kills Ramsley's, or Master Gracie's wife because he doesn't think he's good enough for her. And then basically spends eternity in this haunted mansion, trying to convince him that, she killed herself. And, that's why he killed himself, is because she killed herself. It's very Romeo and Juliet. But also that whole movie is the villain because it has nothing to do with the actual haunted mansion.
That's really what we should do. Is we should pick actual movies that are the villain because they didn't represent properly.
So they have a chance to redeem it when they do a new Haunted Mansion movie. But yeah, I definitely am going to go with Ramsley.
All right, so we need to choose between the manager of Toy Story of Terror, who I'm sure has a name, but I'm going to go with hotel manager. We've got Ramsey from I can't even think anymore, Haunted Mansion, and Jacob
Gozer the Gosarian.
Gozer from Ghostbusters. My daughter and actually debated Ghostbusters for a good 10 minutes about who the true villain is of that movie, because we were debating whether it was Gozer, or remember that stink in the mud guy who makes them...
Walter Peck. He is horrendous. He is bad news.
Nina, to update you, Ron is his name.
Does the iguana have a name?
I don't know. I'm just stuck on the fact that this guy, it's the same guy that played the captain of the guard in Spaceballs.
Oh, the actor?
Yes. Let's see. There's a Pez cat. There's Transitron. I don't see the iguana on the list here.
There's the clock. That's like has the old man face.
Oh yeah. And there's the guy with all the he gives paper clips.
Oh, Pocket. It's like Pocket something, because there were a bunch of people in his toy line that already got sold. He was the last of them.
Oh, hold on. Here's the full cast here. There's the
iguana. He wouldn't have a voice though. The iguana didn't talk.
He might have made noises. Sometimes they'll list like Abu had a voice, or Abu from.
Well, he kind of did.
Right.
The iguana, I thought, had like a cat collar.
I am not seeing anything on IMDb, but did the iguana have a name? Was the name Betsy? Was that the name of the iguana?
The name of the iguana, yeah.
Was Betsy?
Is it?
I don't know. That was the question.
That might have been.
Jones. Jones is the pet iguana owned by Ron.
Oh, okay, yeah, we got Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones right here, voiced by D. Bradley Baker, who is known for being Perry the Platypus in Phineas and Ferb.
But he talked in that movie? I mean, the iguana.
I'm just doing what IMDb tells me.
Okay.
Wasn't D. Bradley Baker also in Guardians of the Galaxy? No, that's Bradley Cooper. Never mind. Okay, we're good.
But it says
it's still a B name.
Ron trained him to retrieve toys from visitors and bring them to his office, where he placed them in a basket and rang a bell to alert Ron. When Bonnie and her Anderson and her mother arrived to the hotel, blah, 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 blah. But he's super cute. See?
Super evil, but he's super cute.
Well, he was trained to be evil.
By a super evil person.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to vote so we can then discuss who else we had on our list. So amongst ourselves, I guess, who do you think? Ron or Gozer? Gozer's pretty bad.
I think Ron's pretty, like stealing from kids.
Stealing from kids is pretty bad.
And people put a lot of trust in, like, in their hotels. So that's just bad news.
I want to know what that
do.
Yeah, you do. I really want to know like what that hotel. Like, I want to know where it ranks. Like, how many stars it has.
The Sleepwell Hotel.
Yeah, I need like its Yelp review. It's Google review.
The Sleepwell. All right, so who do you guys think? Ron, the manager?
Yeah, I think Ron.
You can go with Ron, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to battle it out between Winifred, Abigail Tower of Terror, Ron from Toy Story of Terror, and Mr. Waternoose from Monsters, Inc. So
time out for a second. When my camera decided not to work. Did we go over who won last week's battle?
No. In fact, it's neck and neck. So let's.
All right.
So what did we first? We had Darth Vader.
Right.
Then we had Thanos.
And winning by not that much is the Queen of Hearts.
There we go.
Very good.
Queen of Hearts, which also my lipstick kind of could resemble that as well. So
very much.
2-for-1 deal today, everybody.
Very much could be the Queen of Hearts. So Bridget, if you want to, you can join in. We're going to name who else we had on our list. And if there's anyone you can think of, Bridget, go ahead and tell us. So why don't we go round robin? Like I'll name one, Jacob can name one, Amanda can name one, and we can kind of just go like that. But for the so-called battling it out, it will be between Winifred, Abigail, Mr. Waternoose, and Ron. That's our 4. So something I put down, which is a little silly, which is why I didn't pick it. What did she say now? What's the one common denominator?
They're villains.
Yeah. I have here a cat. Someone have a cat?
Yes, that would be my cat.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm not hearing things.
No, he just bust into the office here. He just realized after 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. They're all against children.
And we're all parents, so that totally makes sense, actually.
Right.
So we got Winifred, who wants to steal their souls. And then we've got Abigail, who does the meanest thing to her sister. And Ron, who steals toys from kids. And Mr. Waternoose, who wants to
steal their screams.
Yeah, and stick them up to a. Ugh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. So one villain I picked, which wasn't totally a villain, but it's something that has been freaking me out since childhood, which is the reason I am afraid. I am afraid of 3 things, and 2 of these things are in this movie, and it's Pee-wee Herman's big red bike. And I am 100% afraid of not only dentists, but clowns. Because Pee-wee has this dream of clown dentists stealing his bike and taking it apart and selling it and shipping it off. And his bike, is his most important thing to him. And ever since that movie, which I've seen a bazillion times, I am 100% afraid of not only the dentist, but of clowns. Anyone else feel me on that one?
I have such fear of the dentist. I had a horrible dental experience when I was in my early 20s and still hate the dentist to this day. Hate it. Hate it.
I make sure that I always book my dentist appointments like the very first appointment of the day so that when I get in there, I'm really tired. So that I try to sleep through the procedures or whatever.
Can I be passed out, please?
Yeah.
All right, Jacob, what do you have for your one of your other
one of mine? I was going to recycle from when we went over Disney animated villains, and it was Brom Bones.
I figured
from the Ichabod and Mr. Toad, because again, Brom Bones is just such a bully in the town, and nobody sees it. Everybody's like, yeah, Brom Bones, what a great guy. But us who are watching it from the outside, we're like, what a mean, mean-spirited person, bullying poor, new teacher in town that doesn't really know anybody. So again, he's jealous of him. So I don't like that guy very much, but
I almost put him on the list, but I was like, Jacob's already used him, so I'm gonna take him off. But right. Yeah, for sure. To answer Bridget's question real quick, actually, Bridget, we ran out of time. So I didn't get to do any of the haunted houses, which kind of makes me sad. But I did do the tribute store, which was really important to me because I needed to have that skull brownie, which of course will be in the videos. But Bridget knows what I'm talking about. What did you pick, Amanda, that was also on your list?
My number 5, I was all over the place, but the next one I would have gone with is the other mother from Coraline.
Oh.
Do not get me started on her.
Oh.
And speaking of people that don't like children, the whole, that movie messed me up when I first saw it.
It is so weird.
It is so weird. Like, it is literally a horror movie for children. It's just, that's all I have to say about it. Like,
Right.
it is literally a horror movie made for children.
No, that's a really good one, and it's probably not on my list because I just
have blocked it out of your mind.
I try hard not to watch it, to be honest, which is hard for me because it's stop motion, which is what I did in college. So
yeah, but it's just can I help you? You're going to be on my list of villains.
Oh, fun. Okay, so next on my list, and I didn't say it because it's a short, but I named Donald Duck as a villain in the Trick or Treat, it's Halloween, because he will not give candy to his own nephews.
Rude.
So obnoxious that Witch Hazel has to go in and give him some dancing feet and kick the key out of his caboose so that his nephews can get candy. I mean, it's very much along Donald's personality, but I have to say in that movie, in that short, he's pretty villainous. So
and that's just one example. Like you said, that's kind of his MO. He is pretty villainous in a lot of different things that he's in.
Which is probably why I secretly love him.
Yeah. I always think of the episode where it's his birthday, but he thinks that the nephews are smoking cigars. So he makes them all smoke cigars, and at the bottom of the cigars, it's like a happy birthday, Uncle Donald note. And then he feels like all sad.
And why does Daisy like him? She seems so with it, and yet he's so cantankerous.
These women.
But yeah, I had to name Donald Duck on that one. What else did you have, Jacob?
I only had two more, but one that I had is, his name is Mr. Teague. He's the dad's boss from Poltergeist, which is rated PG. It's a PG movie, the original Poltergeist.
Wow.
Okay, speaking of movies that are literal nightmares for children.
Right. I don't think I've personally ever sat and watched the entire Poltergeist because it still to this day scares me. But I've made it enough and through towards the end where you know why, again, spoilers, why the Poltergeist is targeting that house or targeting that community. It's a planned community the developer built over a graveyard, and he was supposed to move all of the bodies and tombstones and everything, and he left them all there and only moved the tombstones. So that's why the Poltergeist is haunting the house. So it's all this guy's fault, the land developer of the planned community. So.
And I saw that house, Bridget, the Poltergeist house. I did see that one.
I just went to look it up to see if it was actually PG, which it is. But it also is telling me that it is currently showing in my local movie theaters. So thank you.
Yeah.
Hop to that.
I only have two more on my list as well, Jacob. Technically, I had four more on my list, but we kind of already talked about Caliber from Halloween Town and Master Gracie from Haunted Mansion. So my other two, again, I don't know how nobody talked about it. Maybe if we had one or two other people on it, he would have made it on the list. But Oogie Boogie,
he's on my list.
He's a baddie.
I couldn't really bring him up because I didn't want to fight between him and Jack.
Correct. But again, I think they're all villains in that movie.
I was going to name Jack I was going to name Jack for next week. And then this week I was going to name Oogie Boogie and his minions, Lock, Shock, Barrel, for doing the dirty deeds. For actually stealing the Easter Bunny and Sandy Claus.
I mean, they could very well show up next week because it is a September to December movie.
It is. In fact, when I bought the Sally and Jack masks, I thought I'm going to get a lot of use out of these because I can wear them from September through December, even January. So.
Yep. All right, Nina, what else do you have on your list there?
I have a lot. Should I just name them all real quick?
Yeah, because I only have one more left. So go ahead and we'll make this the last round. Just list them all off.
All right. So then I also named, and again, this is a little weird. I went ahead and named the Great Pumpkin from the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I think it's really
The
nasty.
actual pumpkin itself.
I think
Sorry.
it's really nasty and villainous that the Great Pumpkin did not show up that night for poor Linus. He stayed up all night long with his blankie, waiting for the Great Pumpkin, trying to impress Sally, who never bothered to show up. So to me, the Great Pumpkin is very much a villain in that movie.
Just rude.
It was just rude. I mean, seriously, Great Pumpkin.
Sorry, I swallowed my water wrong at that time.
You went to all the other pumpkin patches. Why couldn't you come to Linus's? It's just, again, against children. Just another. I went ahead and named Audrey from Descendants 3.
Yep, my girl. She was on my list for last week's as well.
Seriously, I don't understand why.
Listen, Apple TV is the real villain for not letting us watch it on TV.
Yeah, luckily I have it on DVD, so we've watched it a bazillion times already. But yeah, like it's a childhood classic. But yeah, so I named Audrey from Descendants 3 for, you know, getting mad because she didn't get her man.
I mean, they call her the Queen of Mean. Like, she sings a whole song about it.
No, she's totally the Queen of Mean. And then, of course, I named Oogie, which you just said, Calabar, which we've already discussed.
Yep.
And I went ahead and named the manager from Phantom of the Megaplex.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So the whole movie, you think the theater is haunted by some old actor or something, and you find out it's just the manager who just feels like no one pays attention to him. So he thought he would wreak havoc against a night at the theater, not only messing up many children's probably emotions and anxiety, but also the actors and the promotions and all those people for the movie that was supposed to air that night. I mean, he kind of just ruined it all. Let's see. We did Kerrigan from the Casper. Oh, the Goonies. Of course, the obvious baddies of the Goonies are the mom and two brothers, but I would argue that the true baddie in Goonies is the dad of that one son who tried stealing that home from, I forget the names, but you know what I mean? Like he tried to make them sign that contract to get his house and make that poor family leave their home.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing is they thought that they were going to only be together that little bit because people were buying up the houses to turn it into something.
Right. So I think it's the banker. I'm assuming he was a banker or something, forcing that family, that community, that friendship to break up. Didn't even think of this. Yes.
He was on my list last week because I didn't think that Xenon was a Halloween movie. But Parker Wyndham, literally, I'm looking back at last week's, and he was top of my list.
And then the last one I have is The Corpse's Bride. Of course, being the groom who, like Debbie, is marrying people for money and then murdering them and whatnot. So, yeah, that was my list. Jacob, did you have one more? I can't remember.
Yeah, I did. I had one more. I did have, just thought of it as an honorable mention of, part of the reason I don't like these scary movies at all. And it's such a weird one, but Garfield, the Halloween, short where he and Odie go trick-or-treating as pirates, and then they end up on that island with the cabin boy and the ghost pirates. They drew those ghost pirates way too scary, like the skeleton ghost pirates. That, traumatized me as a kid. But that wasn't on my list, but my actual one is from something that people, again, probably don't recognize or realize might be a Halloween movie, is the U.S. government, specifically a character named Keys from E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And he's ripping the beloved friend away from a child, keeping that character from its home, chasing poor children on bicycles. They wield deadly guns that then get edited out of the film in subsequent releases, and they edit in walkie-talkies, which doesn't make any sense. But they dress E.T. up as a ghost, and then dress themselves up to then go out to sneak him out of the house. So the whole movie takes place right around that Halloween time, which turns it then into that Halloween movie. But that guy is pretty evil. But he didn't make my cut. So he was my like 5th or 6th or whatever.
So as I was riding ET 2 days ago, and that ride at Universal is very much the whole escaping from the white coats, so to speak, the scientists. I kept thinking in my head, ooh, I should put them on my list. But you're right, it's totally a Halloween movie because the mom and the kids are actually going out for Halloween that night, and she dresses up as like the, that word cat, back when you could be like a really nice looking cat without saying the word. I'm just going to say it. Charlie's in bed. Sexy cat.
Not the word I thought you were going to go with that starts with an S that you shouldn't say on a family show, but we can go with a sexy cat.
Well, we can think of your word too. But anyway, I always thought it was funny that mom was wearing such a slinky little costume.
Right. And then the brother had the cleaver in his head, and E.T. kept trying to heal it.
Yeah, and then
love that movie.
Drew Barrymore, what was she?
She was like hiding because they thought that Drew Barrymore was the ghost, but then it turned out that it was E.T. So she was like,
that's right. She was pretending to be the ghost.
Right.
Bridget has a question for you.
I've never been to Universal and have not ridden the Universal ride, but I might have to specifically ride that. It sounds fun.
I filmed it, so it eventually will be up on my channel. Of course, in the whole filming of it, I forget. I mean, I knew what the ride was. I've been on it before, but I forget how much motion's in it. So you hear me screaming a lot,
right?
Because they're on these bicycles suspended in air, and you do kind of do these swoop motions,
right?
And every time it gets me.
That's part of the reason why we skip that one when we go down. Is my wife gets really motion sick. And there's a lot more motion rides in Universal than there are in Disney. So.
No, it's true. But I will say E.T. is kind of like the equivalence of Peter Pan.
Okay.
In motion, like when the ship dips a little bit in the Peter Pan, that's like when the bikes dip on E.T. Every time I don't know when it's happening and it gets me, and right, like Peter Pan on bikes.
Awesome. Okay.
Just.
And for Nick that's not there, do they still have the Jaws that pops out of the water?
No.
Okay, because they talk about that on Mallrats, and I know he is a big Kevin Smith fan. So.
Yeah, no, they got rid of Jaws. They do have a giant shark that you can take a selfie with, but the actual Jaws ride is gone.
Right.
So Amanda, did you have one more, or did you give your whole list?
Oh, I have one more. I'm not sure if you would count it as a Halloween movie, but we're just gonna go with it because it's not up for like huge debate. But a movie that I always found quite creepy, so therefore associate with being Halloween, is the live action Scooby-Doo movie. And so Scrappy-Doo in that movie being like the bad guy, like
Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah, and then like him turning out to be the bad guy in the end. So that was my hello. There's a little human.
Yep, I did not write it on my list, but he was one that I was thinking of also.
Say hello.
Hi, little human.
Hello.
All right, go get jammies on, please. Yep, go put jammies on.
You.
Well, I'm still busy here. If you get jammies on, you can come be in the video.
Freddie Prinze alone.
Yes, and Matthew Lillard.
Hey, look at me.
That was a star-studded movie too. There were like a lot of really good characters in it.
Right, because what's her name's in it?
Was it the girl from Freaks and Geeks? Played Velma?
I think
Linda Cardellini.
I'm looking it up. I'm not sure.
Then there's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
That's what I was thinking of, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There's Daphne.
And then Shaggy is the guy from, what's that punk movie?
Yeah, it's Matthew Lillard. He's in he's in that movie. He's in, I think it was like 13 Ghosts. He was in a lot of like 90s, a lot of stuff with Freddie Prinze Jr. He was in Theater.
SLC Punk, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
That's it. SLC Salt Lake City Punk.
Yeah, they were. He and Matthew Lillard were in a couple of different movies together. Like it was really funny. Yep, she was in Scooby-Doo. It was Linda Cardini, and she's in the new what's it called Muppets stuff that they have on.
Yes.
She's in it like all the time with Miss Piggy.
Yes. When Miss Piggy does her little online chats or whatever.
Right.
And she's always with a new Muppet. Like one time she was with, I cannot think tonight because I am still on my travel brain.
Yeah.
But the little shrimp, what's his name? The prawn. He's a prawn. That's what he is. Anyway, she was talking with him on one of the episodes. It was really cute. Pepe,
Yep.
Pepe the prawn. I love him. So yeah, I think that this certain category actually opened up a lot of potential doors for villains, especially if you kind of think outside of the current box. But
double toil and trouble, baby.
For those of you who are still watching or are going to watch this later, next week will be our final round of finding the ultimate villain in a category. And next week's round is a little weird, but if you think about it, there is a lot to choose from. And we are going to do the top villains from holiday specials. So that includes your Christmas and your Easter and not Halloween, but all your other potential villains that could pop up in holiday specials, whether it's live action or cartoon based. For example, Grinch, Scrooge, those kind of characters. So that'll be a lot of fun. But for now, I think we should probably say our good nights. What do you guys think?
Yes, as I had to leave to take care of a small human being.
As Amanda has a child with underwear running around the house.
You know what? He's 3. There's no stopping it.
It's a 3-year-old doing what 3-year-olds do.
That's correct. This is 100% correct. So, yeah, Jacob, what do you have going on your channel?
We just had released the Pickle Spills review. Upcoming next, we're going to actually talk about the Wyndham Garden Disney affiliate hotel at Disney Springs. It's the first time we stayed off property on the trip, and we kind of talk about that, how we traveled around during COVID because we were there again maybe a week after the parks had opened back up. So there were some differences that from staying there, I guess, from other times. So we're going to go over that. How we got around and things like that.
He saw that I had my Funko Pop, so he had to go and get his. He brought his true villain from Frozen.
Ooh.
Young Anna.
She is quite the villain, isn't she?
What
do you?
Oh, we're just getting all the Funko Pops from his room now.
Yeah, let's bring it on. Okay, we got BB-8. Very cute.
Perfect. Any more? Or is that it? I think that's it. Well, before he comes back in with something. Oh, nope. Here we go. This is now.
What's he got?
We have Woody.
Yay! Woody was super close to being a villain tonight, sort of.
All on theme. Quick, before he brings something else in. Nope. Already happened. So tomorrow on the channel, all of these characters are going to be part of our cooking video. Not true. It's just going to be Mike's hands, and he did it completely different this time. But we made pumpkin beignets from Disneyland, not the pumpkin spice beignets from Disney World, because there was a huge difference. And then Monday will be our last park video from our July trip. And I'm just going to cry while I edit it because we were supposed to be in Disney next week and had to cancel. So just going to be sad. But I can watch all of Nina's, thank you. I can watch all of Nina's videos from the parks and I'll be happy. So Nina, what do you have going on?
Awesome. So up on my channel, because I just got back from Disney World and Universal Studios, I had some pre-made videos that were up there. I've got some top tips and tricks of going to Disney World right now. So they're not tips and tricks in general. They are tips and tricks for visiting Disney right now, as in October. So they are very up to date current tips. I finally put out my Savannah Animal View video. It's a very calming video of just my animal view from Kidani Village with some calming music in the background. And then Friday will be my what did I pack in my Universal Park bag. But once those come up, I will be into my new videos. So travel day, what we did at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and the list goes on. And they're going to be kind of quick to the point videos because in a few weeks, I will be back at Magic Kingdom, back at the Great Disney World with my family for our annual Christmas 8-day long adventure trip. So I will have lots of current footage on my channel starting next week and beyond because we just
got close now.
Disney. And you're wearing your Disney World jersey.
Oh yes, his Christmas one. He's ready for next week.
I just bought my kids the Crocs.
Ooh.
The Disney Crocs. So we're all going to go on our annual Christmas Disney trip with matching Crocs.
Love it.
Because why not?
All right. Well, before this video gets any weirder, let's sign off. Jacob, go ahead.
Make sure that you click on subscribe or click the subscribe button and tick the bell for notifications for all the channels that we're on tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
And for us, you'll see us Mondays for Disney videos, Thursday for cooking videos, and random times for other random things. Bye.
All right, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching. Please remember to like this video, comment on this video. Let us know what other kind of lives you would love to see. Please, please, please subscribe to all the channels. Both, all of our channels are listed below in the description, including Nick, who couldn't be here tonight because he's too busy being at Disney World. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. And yeah, mahalo for watching, guys. Nina out. Bye.
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 Trying to find the button.